Another terrifying night in Colombia's third largest city, Cali. Videos shot by residents of two working-class neighborhoods apparently show the police shooting indiscriminately against protesters. The morning after, the scenes of destruction were unmistakable. The mayor said at least 5 people were killed and 33 injured. The western city of Cali has become the epicenter of the ongoing protests against the social and economic policies of President Iván Duque. On Tuesday, the United Nations and the European Union condemned the excessive use of force on part of Colombia's security forces to try and contain the unrest.
There is real concern at NASA tonight about a huge chunk of Chinese space junk that could be on top of us before long.
Another Chinese spent rocket actually plummeted out of control just last year, raining debris and damaging some buildings in the African nation of Ivory Coast. Fortunately, nobody was hurt. But as far as space junk goes, and there's a lot of it up above us, this one is enormous. It weighs 21 tons. The core rocket stage is circling Earth out of control and could fall somewhere within the next several days, possibly as soon as this weekend or Monday. The big rocket blasted off last Wednesday from South China. It's one of 10 more planned launches, all of it for China's ambition to build its own Chinese space station.
Well, here in Germany, officials are warning of a rise in far-right extremism. Police recorded more than 23,000 far-right crimes in the year 2020. That's a 5% increase on the previous year and a record high. The new statistics were published on the same day that police arrested a suspected neo-Nazi accused of sending threats and hate mail to politicians and public figures.
He's accused of sending more than 100 threatening letters, signed NSU 2.0, in reference to a right-wing terror group. His letters went out to politicians, artists and lawyers. It's unclear if the 53-year-old man acted alone. What is clear, however, is that the man espoused unmistakable right-wing extremist ideology. According to authorities, it's part of a dangerous trend in Germany. Politically motivated crimes have reached their highest levels in 20 years.
Syrian sources reported this afternoon on Monday that a horrific explosion took place in an arms depot in Al Fuwa area, northeast of Syria's Idlib. Reportedly, the weapons depot belonged to Turkish-affiliated groups. The news website of the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights said that it is more likely that the blast may have been caused by an airstrike. Terrorist groups such as Tahrir al-Sham, formerly known as Jabhat al-Nusra, the National Front for Liberation, and Jaish al-Islam control various areas of Idlib province. The Syrian province of Idlib is one of the areas that Russian President Vladimir Putin and his Turkish counterpart Recep Tayyip Erdogan in the Moscow Agreement have stressed the need for a ceasefire in it. The agreement, signed by the two sides on March 5, 2020, emphasizes the establishment of a safe passage and joint patrols on the Aleppo-Latakia road.
Brazilian lawmakers began an investigation into President Jair Bolsonaro's handling of the COVID-19 health crisis on Tuesday, narrowing in on his support of the anti-malaria drug, chloroquine. The investigation has pulled up former health ministers to testify against Bolsonaro for wanting to approve the drug as a treatment for COVID-19, even when his top health officials said there wasn't enough evidence. Bolsonaro fired former health minister Luiz Henrique Mandetta last April for not agreeing to push a chloroquine-based treatment. On Tuesday, Mandetta spoke in front of the Senate investigation.
I warned Bolsonaro of the consequences of not adopting science.
Now, Brazil is facing a steady surge in cases. Its vaccination supply is running low as major cities struggle to administer second doses.
Meanwhile, in the South China Sea, it's down to trash talking. The Philippines has tried everything to repel the Chinese armada. First, they made a peaceful appeal. China did not budge. Then their navy ordered the PLA to leave. That didn't work either. So now their top diplomat has let loose on social media. This is what their foreign secretary, the Philippines' foreign secretary, wrote on Twitter. Unfortunately, I cannot read it out for you because the language is quite colorful. But let me say this. Most of the world shares this sentiment, and they're tired of being bullied by China. The foreign secretary did not stop there. He compared China to an ugly oaf.
Basic mass-produced coffins line the street. Over the course of a few weeks, this scene has become normalized. Now it works non-stop. Orders have been flying in thick and fast ever since the arrival of the B1351 COVID variant first discovered in South Africa.
There were times where we didn't have any orders. Sometimes we had just one order a day. But during this pandemic, there have been many orders. I'm not hiding the fact that sometimes we now receive 10 orders a day. On Friday, we even had 20 of them.
To cope with the influx of patients, hotels and schools have been transformed into hospitals.
Derek Chauvin, the white former Minneapolis police officer convicted last month of the murder of the black man George Floyd, has requested a new trial. His legal team has filed court documents alleging misconduct by both prosecutors and jurors. Last month, Chauvin was found guilty of second and third degree murder and manslaughter.
Eric Nelson, Chauvin's defense attorney, filed a request today for a retrial, and he is citing multiple grounds, prosecutorial misconduct among them, but he doesn't get into a lot of detail. He also mentions misconduct on the part of the jury, and the fact that there was so much publicity, and that Judge Peter Cahill, who presided over this case, refused requests from the defense to move the case out of Minneapolis because of all of the pretrial publicity.
Former U.S. President Donald Trump launched a space to post online just a day before Facebook's board will review whether or not to make his ban on that platform permanent. On Tuesday, a blog called From the Desk of Donald J. Trump appeared on his website, where videos, messages, and photos can be posted and shared to Twitter and Facebook, both places where he remains banned. Facebook's ban came in the wake of Trump supporters storming the U.S. Capitol in January. A source familiar with the matter said it was built by Campaign Nucleus, a company founded by a former Trump campaign manager, Brad Parscale. Messages on the site repeat Trump's false claim that he lost the 2020 election because of widespread voter fraud. Many posts also attack fellow Republicans like Senator Mitt Romney and Representative Liz Cheney.
Police have seen a dangerous spike in illegal lasers being used to target aircraft. In a recent incident, an officer was temporarily blinded. A Western Sydney man who aimed a laser at a police plane today apologised, telling 7 News he was irritated by the noise.
Beamed from a Penrith car park, a green light illuminates laser stupidity.
It's quite painful. It's almost like could be described like a migraine, that stabbing pain.
Laser strikes are climbing and police are cracking down. Last month, Wayne Wiggins aimed a laser at a police aircraft which was patrolling near his Toongabbie home.
I just did it as a deterrent to sort of get rid of him so I could go to sleep. That's all it was.
The pilot temporarily blinded.
I'm sorry for what I did, and damn sure it will never happen again.